Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. I am your host, Keith Andrew, and this is episode 298. I'm here with the beautiful and talented Olga, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
No, absolutely. The honor is all mine. Now, for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities that you should never give up and you should prove to people you can still amount to something. That labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and you should prove to them you can still amount to something. So that being said, you said you're short on time, so it's a half hour every time. And with that being said, gloves off, uncensored, freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression, talk about whatever you want, ask me whatever you want, supporting a good cause, making a new friend out of it. With that being said, jumping right into it, what can you tell us all about yourself?
Sounds great. Again, thank you so much, Keith, for having me. It's my pleasure. I'm Olga Kalashnikova. I'm an actress and producer. I'm actually based in the beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii, but I do travel and work in Los Angeles and New York as an actor and a producer. And I've been living here for the last 5 years in Hawaii. Before, I used to live in California, and I'm originally from Belarus, from Eastern Europe. So my native language is Russian.
Oh, nice. You know, for a perfect example for people who don't understand or never heard Russian before, and going on the record, could you give us? I'm trying to find the words for it because I want to talk show to stretch all boundaries.
Sure. Could I say? I trying to see if I can say something in Russian.
Well, that too, but I mean, like for a perfect example, you know what I mean? Because I want the show to carry over, you know. I don't want people just to think this is just an American show. I want this to carry over to the Spanish culture, to the Asian culture, for the Russian culture. I want it to just show that I don't cater to one English race. See if that makes any sense. Because people are like, oh, you always speak in English. But wouldn't it be nice for people who don't speak English to have translations? So just to have people be open-minded, if that makes any sense.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely understand. I actually, before I transitioned into acting professionally, I used to work as an interpreter and translator in immigration court in San Francisco, English and Russian. So I used to do that for a living for a number of years.
Well, if you're okay with it, could you say do half an interview in English, half in Russian? So you say something in Russian, and for people who don't understand Russian, this is what I meant. Because I like it is, like I said, I'm really rusty at this. I like
kind of throwing me on the spot. But
you don't have to. That's just an idea.
Well, I'm assuming that most of your audience is probably English speaking.
Yeah.
So I probably prefer to stick to English, but I'm happy to say some words in Russian. For example, I am happy to be on this show. Hi, Keith. Привет, Keith. Мне очень приятно, что ты меня пригласил сегодня на шоу, на свое, и я буду рада рассказать тебе о себе и о своей карьере.
Actually, after the show, I do have a couple ideas for you. Because I want to do a promo and have you have the Russian flag. And basically, I would say, trying to find a word for it. It's because I want to do basically, I want to work with Woodbury Commons, and they always have this big Titantron when you walk into the food court playing different languages. So I want to have my logo and have it played in Russian. Then you go to the Japanese flag and have it in Japanese. Then you have it in another. Then I can do a commercial of that saying, KeithAndrewNetWork, now worldwide, breaking all boundaries.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be happy to help with that, so no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. We can talk about it afterwards. And now, starting off, were you a study nerd or party animal when you went to college, number one? And who influenced you to start your career? I know, two different questions, but actually an easy one and a hard one at the same time.
Sure. Okay, so to answer your question, was I a studier, the first one, the studier or the party animal in school? So I've been in college actually forever. So I started in Belarus. It was Minsk State Linguistic University. I studied, it's going to sound like super long and fancy, technical and scientific interpreting and translation with English and German as foreign languages. So I did that for 3 years. And then I actually moved to the States and I continued my education. I took a break. I had to take a break for a couple of years due to my family situation. And I went to a community college for a number of years and then transferred some of my credits from my previous university I got accepted on a scholarship to a University of California at Berkeley. So that's where I got my degree in political science, and that's actually where I started taking improv classes and theater for social change classes. So that's kind of leading to second question. But to answer the first question, so I was both. I had ups and downs, so to say. My first year at the university in Belarus, I was pretty much a studier. But then the second year, I was a partier. I got into a comedy club. I started being part of the comedy club, and then I started hosting a comedy club, and that took a lot of time away from my studies. So I was kind of in and out. But then my third year there, I had all straight A's. I kind of went back into studying mode. And then in community college and when I finally started going to Berkeley, I was pretty much a studier until the very last semester because I think I was a little more grown up and I think I was a little more interested in what I was actually studying. So there was a lot more, let's put it that way, sober and conscious what I'm actually doing. And I loved studying. I've always loved school. I've always loved being in school. So yeah, but I did get to party a little bit at Berkeley, like at the last semester, but only during the last semester. That was it.
All right. Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, what were some of your favorite sports? And were you in any independent films, or did you ever get the chance to be in a guest star on any of the big name TV shows? Sure.
Okay, well, actually, I didn't really answer the second question. I think it was about the acting, how I got into acting, and that was as I said. I really seriously got into acting after I graduated from Berkeley, but I did want to be an actress when I was growing up in Eastern Europe, but my mom was a college professor and my dad was an engineer. We did not have any actors in the family, so it wasn't sort of like the thing to do, so I kind of, when I would watch films, I'd be like, oh, I want to be an actress, but then I never really followed through. But then I started, as I said, taking some classes at Berkeley, and that kind of really inspired me. And I but I only got into acting seriously when I moved to Hawaii and got into Scott Rogers Studios. That's an acting studio here in Honolulu. About sports. So sports, I used to be in the swim team when I was in high school. And I used to do track and field. I used to be a really good runner. I used to compete with the boys. But then I got an injury. When I was in, I think that was 7th grade or 8th grade, I got a hip injury. So I actually kind of was sitting on the bench for a number of years, and that was really frustrating for somebody like me because I really like to be on the go. I really like to be moving. But it made me realize that actually they pretty much said no, like you can't do any sports anymore. But I really did not want to be defined by that. I didn't really want to believe that. So I started slowly. I started going into yoga and like Pilates, and then when I was in college, I kind of continued doing that, kind of taking it slow, you know. And then eventually, like right now, what was it, last year I did a year of boot camp here in Honolulu. I do hot yoga, I snowboard, so yeah, you know, I kind of forgot that I shouldn't be doing that.
Well,
yeah. And and in terms of independent films, so yes, I did a number of independent films here in Honolulu, and one of them, which was pretty transformative for me, it's still in post-production. It's called Angel by Thursday. It's something what you can call more of like a faith-based, a spiritual, independent drama that was written and directed by Jeff Wallace, he's a screenwriter and director who lives here in Oahu on the North Shore. And some of the people that I met and some of the actors, like my co-star, Ken Matapi, he's an Australian actor who lives here on Oahu. Some of these people, they have become my family now. So we kind of even call it a community film because we've grown so tight. Like in Hawaii, they say ohana. These people have become my ohana. So that was a great, terrific experience. Hopefully we're going to see this film in 2017. And I did get a small role on Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, which was opposite Zac Efron and Adam Devine. It was a comedy. It was improv. It was really fun. Surprisingly, it's not when we see the final cut, you can see only like a few lines, so it's not a huge part. But they did audition probably over 1,000 girls, and they only picked about 10, and then some of them got cut. So I was actually super happy to be able to get onto the set and to work with Zach and Adam. And they rolled cameras on us for good 20 to 25 minutes and let us do whatever we wanted to do. So that was pretty much a lot of improv and a lot of fun. And I did just wrap filming a co-star role on Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thank you. Which I've auditioned for a while, and I wasn't able to get on the show for a while, so it was a bittersweet moment for me. So eventually, when I did get the part, and which is going to air, I think, sometime in mid-January. Yeah.
It's funny, I came across this woman from LinkedIn, because I use LinkedIn occasionally to network, and it's like, oh, you seem like a great person. I think you would fit in well. I said I'm a big fan of 5-0. It's like I would love to be a guest on the show. Okay, can you come down tomorrow? I was like, okay, New York? I can schedule a taxi. It's like, yeah, we're not in New York, we're in Hawaii. It's like, yeah, well,
yeah, makes sense. Hawaii 5-0, not New York 5-0. Yeah, but you know, you never know. It's sometimes if you fit the role, then they may be willing to bring you over.
That's true. Now, can you talk about Hawaii Five-O, or is it still under wraps?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really talk about it yet, but all I can say that it was great. I had a great experience working on the set, and everybody who works on the show is sort of like family to me. So it was a great moment. But unfortunately, I think that the episode is going to air on January 13th. I
Okay.
believe. I may be wrong, but we can double check. But it's episode 15. So whenever episode 15 airs, that's going to be it. And I'll be happy to let you know. So if you would like to watch it, so it's a great episode. I read the whole script. It's going to be great.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, you don't have to go into details. I know it's when you work on a project, you like to keep people in suspense. But I mean, like the cast, do you guys still keep in touch? Or maybe you can put a good word in for me. I would love to have the cast of Five-O on my show. Or the directors, for that matter.
Mm-hmm. Well,
You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
No. I can try. Let's put it that way. I can try. I know I don't know everybody, but I know some people on the show. I can try. I can see and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I can talk more about my part and about the role and how everything came about after the episode airs. So
We can do a part 2.
Yay! No, sounds good. I can I'll put the word out there and hopefully we'll get some positive response.
No, absolutely. I didn't mean to impose on you. I apologize.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of Five-O. I would love to be a guest. I'm always looking for people, and I interview everyone and everyone. Actors, actresses, models, CEOs, voiceover people, professional wrestlers, people who have disabilities, people without disabilities. So it's pretty much, I like to give everyone an opportunity, like yourself. You didn't approach me, I approached you. So out of all the people that I interviewed, I approached them. No one really, maybe one or two people, that's really about it. Maybe one or two people approached me, but I always did approaching. So it's all about networking too. You help me, I help you. So anyway, that's more stuff for after the show. But one thing I do want to say, wrapping up now, is do you want to, as I said, I haven't done this as a way, so I'm really rusty, I apologize. So when I don't do my interviews as a way, my learning disability shows more and more, and a lot of people are like, oh, that's good, it's good, you should show your disability more, and I'm like, I do my talk show to hide my disability, to try to overcome it, not showcase it. So that's why I hesitate more if I don't do my talk show as a weight. Anyway,
I think you're doing great because what episode is this? 200 something?
Yeah,
this is my
200.
first episode. You have already done 200 episodes. So you're way better than some of us.
That's true. Not bad for having a learning disability, but the whole point is, for me, the reason I came up with the talk show is to help. Basically, I was told to have poor people skills. Yes, I do. Poor people skills, horrible people manners.
Who told you that?
And just people. I don't want to point names.
Okay.
But I can tell you after the show. But basically, I have poor people skills. I suffer from depression, anxiety. So I came up with the idea of the talk show, saying, you know what? I wanted to show people, say, hey, I never went to college, or I'm not like, blah, 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 who has a fancy degrees and those people. But look at what I can accomplish. And it's just, I'm proving to people, that, hey, if God gives you a shitty hand, it's your job to turn that hand into something. And it's basically what I'm doing. People label me as retarded or whatever excuses. So I'm going to say, you know what? if I'm really that retarded, then how do I have my own talk show? How am I meeting people? How am I networking? So it's about proving to people you can stem out to something. But, I rant and rave my past episodes. It's not about me, this is about you. But
I'm very thankful for you, Keith, and I'm very thankful that you invited me here, and thank you for sharing this story. This is your show, so it's about you just as much as it is about your guests. And unfortunately, people can be heartless, but in my experience, usually it comes from pain or anger, because these people have had some type of trauma that they weren't able to overcome, so they externalize it onto other people, and they find something to pick on. And I'm sorry you've been a victim to that, and we all have to different extents, whether you have disability or you don't have disability, sometimes you come across people who will judge you, or who will, not like you for a certain reason, or who will try to hurt you with their words or otherwise. So kudos to you. I'm really proud of you, and what you're doing is great. And I mean, my episode is 200 something. That means that there were 200 people before me on your show, or over 200 people who you were able to show that you are actually different than some people try to label you as. And this is unfortunate, and it's great what you're doing, because even like in today's times, like during all this crazy unrest, I think the more love we have, the more love and compassion we show for each other, the better the world is going to be.
No, absolutely. Now, wrapping up, I do have another interview out there, but that's why you said you have to do your audition tape. So, we're both on the same page. But wrapping up, I took this from Bill O'Reilly, so all rights go to the factor. Going on the record, when I first approached you, what was your honest opinion of me? And after being interviewed by me, what's your honest opinion now? You can say whatever you want, be honest.
Keith, I love it. I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself if I say that. I was honored when you approached me. I said yes, and my first instinct was saying yes. And I even haven't watched your episode. Like, I only watched it post factum. So that was my first instinct, and it's great. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that you were able to share, some of your story, and maybe we will do part 2. Who knows? If I get invited back. I was only able to share the good part, but as we know, there's 2 sides to the coin. There's always the happy part, and then there's always the struggle of us getting to where we're at. I just wanted to say that you're great. Your show is great. Keep doing it, and keep sharing. Keep sharing with people. More people need to know of your struggles, and hopefully they will be able to relate more.
No, absolutely. Going on the record, I am looking forward to doing part 2 with you. Just let me know when you're available.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Stay tuned. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
Stay tuned. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But
Sure.
Wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege. Have you as a guest, and preferred on the icebreaker. And I'm looking forward to part 2 in a couple of weeks when you're available.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Keith. And me too. I'm looking forward to talking to you again. Aloha.
Aloha.